you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest gas?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Another week, another episode of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, along with my partner in crime, Amy Hood. And back to having her full time, and I think it's going to feel pretty good today to have you back, Hood. So, I don't know. So,
I'm back.
You're
you
back.
better believe it.
All right, definitely looking forward to having her back. We got a couple of fun ones today. We've got my buddy Andy McMillan coming off a Baja 500 victory, and also the newest Red Bull athlete. Got a helmet deal with Red Bull, so we're going to dive into talking all about that. That's hour number 2. Also got Joe Duncan calling in hour number 2. I think he may have some surprise guests calling in with him. We're still waiting to find out. Hour number 1, though, we've got Riley Herbst. That's right, from terrible Herbst fame. His dad, Troy, racing trophy trucks. His uncle, Tim, and Ed racing trophy trucks as well. But Riley Herbst, he's going the asphalt route. He is the winner of the General Tire Anywhere as Possible 200 at Pocono in the ARCA Series. He's calling in, so it's going to be interesting. We got an off-road family with a kid that's going NASCAR racing. It's part of the NASCAR Next program. So that's going to be a fun one to talk a little bit about dirt, his transition to NASCAR, and I don't know, it's going to be fun. Also taking fan questions. You got them, hit me up at JimBeaver15. That'll be coming at you here in hour number 1 as well. So all that and more headed at you the next 2 hours here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, coming off a kind of a down weekend in motorsports. I don't know, we got a bit to talk about. Had some World Rallycross, had a Torc race there in Minnesota, but got rained out for day number 2. I guess they got a reschedule going on.
Lots of rain.
Yeah, lots of rain.
It rained everywhere.
Let's put it this way. For them to cancel an off-road race due to rain, I mean, it's freaking off-road, right? That does not happen very often. You know, it must have been pretty brutal, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, that got canceled, but they're making it up with a triple header come this fall there at ERX Motor Park. Have you ever been to ERX, Hood? I got to go up there for the snow bike race. It's where Carlson Motorsports has their headquarters, but they've got an off-road track there. They've got a moto track. They've got like a snowcross track / snow bike track. It's just an amazing facility. Like they've got everything there. I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like if you're a dirt racer, it's like kind of your dream place. Like it's badass, all tucked in there in Minnesota. Like, I don't know, have you ever been there?
No, I haven't, but that sounds pretty sweet, actually. I wonder if it's called something different on the moto side. The moto track has a different name. Do they hold races there at all?
It's nothing big, not like Pro Moto or anything like that, but yeah, it's ERX Motor Park. That's where they had, that's where I went up last year for the X Games Snowbike qualifier. And they had that there, but yeah, I know they do. They do a lot of testing. Teams do, and they do a lot of local races and stuff like that. But it's not, it's not like Pro Moto Circuit or anything like that. But it's a tremendous facility. Just and the shop, because Carlson runs their off-road program and their snowcross program out of shop there, and it's just it's top notch. It's so rad. I don't know. You have to find the schedule. It'll be worth the trip down there for you sometime this summer if they get some good racing. And it's actually like a half a mile from Joe Duncan's house. So there you go.
Nice.
Just knock on the door. Hey, Joe, I'm here to crash in one of your bedrooms. So,
yep, I'm down. Yeah. I'm inviting myself over.
Yeah, right. So, no, we had all that going on. Obviously, we got Riley Herbst calling in about 15 minutes out from that. And, yeah, I know I was
How old is he, if I may ask? I
just
checked his Instagram.
Just turned 18.
Okay, because, wow, like, he looks really young. And there's so many younger and younger athletes right now joining the Red Bull team. And, you know, it's like they're scooping those kids up as young as they
can. No, that was Andy McMillan that joined the Red Bull deal. Riley's got to deal with Nas Energy Drink. But his ARCA ride, sponsored by Nas, but he just turned 18 after the season started, and we'll ask him about it, but he didn't get to race the race at Daytona. I mean, Daytona is like the biggest race of the year, right? Because he wasn't 18 yet, so he had to miss the first ARCA race. And I mean, obviously, it's not the Daytona 500, but it's still Daytona. People want to race at Daytona, right?
Yeah.
And he missed that because he was still 17, and they wouldn't allow him to race. And now he's like third in points. Yeah, he's third in points, and he missed the first race of the year. So it's like, man, this kid would probably be points leader if he was able to race at Daytona. But I don't know. We got a lot to talk about with him. But I know I've had Project Action going on over there. Thanks to everybody who's tuned into that on the Podcast One Network. Keep rating, reviewing, and subscribing. Much appreciated. And I got to make an announcement. We talked about episode 300. That's actually going to get pushed back a week because we're going to take the 4th of July week off. We're going to air kind of like a best of show, so it's not like a true new show. So our 300th episode is actually going to get pushed back to August 1st. So still make sure and hit Amy and I up. We want to get a star-studded guest list, so if you guys have any ideas on somebody you would like to hear on air, kind of dream guests, I don't care if they're IndyCar, NASCAR, off-road, motocross, supercross, Monster Jam, we'll throw that in there. Like, hit us up, let us know, man. We would love to, load up the guest list for that episode. I don't know. Maybe we ought to get Dennis Anderson on for that one, Hood. That'd be like a good fit.
Well, it's funny, Dennis Anderson. It's the sons. It's Ryan and then son of Digger. Like, those guys are absolutely just killing it this weekend at Fox for the Gillette Stadium. They just took the crowd by storm, took the show by storm. They win everything. Their throttle control, their tricks, their saves are just over and above everybody else. Like, you got to go on Monster Jam Live, Instagram, and watch the highlights. They're just like the small Instagram clips and the highlights of their runs. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Like, I mean, I know what I can do in a monster truck right now, and just to watch them, I'm like, dang, I got a long way to go. But, yeah, they're just absolutely incredible. Like, I believe it was Son of Digger came up to a jump backwards, hit this jump all the way backwards, rolled over, and then was on the nose, and is walking his truck on 2 front tires straight up and down and saves it. Like, it's just, I'm like, do you plan that? Is that planned, or are you just winging it? Because, I mean, that's just, it blows my mind what these guys are able to do. But it would be amazing to bring them on our 300 show.
Yeah.
Just to be able to pick their brain and see what goes on in their head on, whether they plan for these tricks or is it just a matter of fate. And, it's like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, well, and you look at like Dennis Anderson. I mean, he's a legend. Like he's like the Mario Andretti of monster trucks. Like, seriously, he's that guy. Like, he's just you want to talk about legends in motorsports, Dennis Anderson, that is that dude as far as Monster Jam goes. I mean, people, I can only...
Yes.
What's that?
And it's the Anderson family.
Yeah.
Because not only is it, Dennis, it's every one of his kids. It's now Kristen, Ryan. There's 2 Anderson boys. I get them confused all the time.
Yeah.
And then also they have a younger son who's not old enough yet to drive a monster truck, but he drives mega trucks, and he actually kills it. Is doing incredible in the mega truck game. And it's kind of funny because, speaking of mega trucks, I didn't even know mega trucks were a thing until I went down to Paxton, and I talked to actually Cody Cam, and I guess he has a mega truck, and he's kind of big into the mega truck scene. But I didn't even know it was a whole subculture of America, mega trucking. And
what the heck is a mega truck? Like, I'm learning something here. What is it?
What?
I don't know what a mega truck is.
You are from the wrong side of America. So this is like, I think it's like Central East Coast, but a mega truck is more the custom builds. Like, that's the old school tractor pulls and tractor shows and mudding. But these mega trucks are absolutely insane, and a lot of people think like they're a step up from a monster truck. Just if you're really big into the builds and really what's under the hood, like mega trucks are huge, and they have these huge things and these huge events down in the States. One is called I'm trying to think of the name, but they have it's like Country Fest in Canada. We have this thing called Country Fest. Okay, this is a good example. It's like Red Bud. So everybody knows Red Bud to be the craziest, most insane race and party on the 4th of July in America of all time. Well, take Red Bud, time to buy 1,200 and the Deep South and big old loud trucks, and boom, that's what you got in mega truck events.
Yeah, you got
they're wild.
You've got all this subcultures that you've got Monster Jam, and now you've got mega trucks. I know, isn't like our friend 4x4 Barbie? She does like mini monster trucks, right? So there's all these different I think
she's in a big truck now a little bit. I don't know, because again, like, I'm learning all about these
Holy crap. Well, it's same in
events, and I had no idea.
Same in off-road, though. I mean, we've got trophy trucks, and you've got buggies, and you've got pre-runners, and you've got razors, and there's like all these subcultures and subgroups that fall under, the big banner. Like,
It's called Trucks Gone Wild.
Trucks Gone Wild.
And I just think the name for itself speaks volumes on what you're going to get yourself into.
Yeah.
But they have a huge event down, and I think it's in Florida, and it's called Trucks Gone Wild, and it's just. Cynthia actually partaked last year, and she got to drive somebody's mega truck and do a truck pull. But she even said, it was driving like nothing else. Like, a monster truck is a lot more stable. But, it's just one heck of a party. And it's this whole new subculture that I am dying to get involved in. And, I can't wait to go. I'm so happy my boyfriend is from the South because he's all into it, and I am so in there.
Nice. All right, we got to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We've got Riley Herbst. He's coming up after the break, and here at the end of hour number 1, we're going to do a big Q&A segment. So if you got your questions, tweet me at JimBeaver15. Let me know, and we'll definitely get those answered on the show. So all that and more coming at you on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver and Amy Hood here. I'd like to welcome our next guest to the line. Your winner of the General Tire Anywhere is Possible 200 there at Pocono in the ARCA Series, Riley Herbst. How's everything going, Riley?
Good. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good, man. Congrats on the victory, dude. That's Amy and I before in the segment before we were talking about it. So I want to talk about your background and your family and stuff like that, but you missed the first race this year at Daytona, right? Because you weren't even 18 yet and they wouldn't allow you to race?
Yeah, I missed it by 6 days. My birthday was 6 days after the race, which kind of sucks. But we won Pocono, and we're going to go on to Michigan this weekend.
Yeah, so I know with the win at Pocono there, I mean, you're sitting third in points. You got to think, man, if you were able to run Daytona, you'd probably be right there in the catbird seat up on top of the standings, huh?
Yeah, I'd like to think so, but I feel like we're still in there because the guy who won the championship last year won the championship by 4 races last year, so we're not out of it yet. We just got to keep stacking up good finishes, and I feel like it will come to us here.
Yeah, well, and I know you, like, your career, and I've kind of half paid attention to it just because of the family and, and I race against your dad in trophy trucks and things like that, but I know, your career path, I mean, most people would look at it and go, here's a kid who we could see him running a trophy truck at 20, 21 years old, right? And you totally went the complete opposite end. I mean, what drew you the pavement racing route? Because, I mean, if I had to look at it and call it when you were 10 years old, I would have pegged you being in a trophy truck at 20 and not racing NASCAR. How did this whole career path evolve for you?
Yeah, well, I kind of wanted to see if I could make it as a career. And, trophy truck racing and all desert racing is really expensive. And there's not that much return on it. So we tried to go asphalt racing, and we're here chasing this path now.
Yeah. Well, and you did start out in like a trophy cart though, right? So you have done a little bit of dirt racing?
Yeah, that was my goal when I was about 8 running trophy carts was to win 1,000 and 500s and all those trophy truck races, which I still would like to do later on in my life. But Right now we're focusing on asphalt racing here.
Yeah, well, and from there you went trophy cart, and then kind of tell us about your career, because then you went to Legends Racing, right? And I think that's the first time I really pegged you. Pegged you as as an asphalt racer.
Yeah, we started Legends Racing for about 2 or 3 years, and then we went to Irwindale, right outside LA in Southern California, racing late models and spec trucks. And then last year we ran the K&N West Series for Bill McAnally. And then at the beginning of last year, we got a call from Joe Gibbs Racing and NOS Energy Drink to see if we wanted to go run the ARCA Series for Joe Gibbs Racing. And we said, absolutely. Now we're running the ARCA Series, trying to chase a championship.
Yeah, nice. So so you got the call from Joe Gibbs. And how was that? Because Joe Gibbs, that's a big name to be jumping into Joe Gibbs Racing. I mean, they've won just about everything.
Yeah, it's super cool. They're the top tier in the sport. They have been for the past couple of years. So it definitely would not have gotten the call or would be where I am today without NOS Energy Drink. They definitely set up the whole meeting between us two. So that was really cool of them to do. And now we're here winning races.
Yeah, well, and that's got to be kind of cool for you guys because, I know that, NOS Energy, it's kind of under the Monster Energy banner, right? It's the same company, it's different brands, but, you've got you've got your dad and Terrible Herbst Motorsports, they're representing the Monster Energy side of things. Here you are carrying the NOS Energy side of things. So it's kind of cool for you guys to be able to kind of carry both banners. And, and I know the family's also been able to work some Monster Energy stuff into the stores and do a lot of activation and promotions and things like that. So it's kind of got to be a really good relationship with the entire Herbst family and Monster and NOS.
Yeah, it is neat that we were able to that I'm able to race the way I am, and then my dad and my uncles are able to race they are with the same company, but just a different paint scheme. But they're great people over there. Everybody, they're very supportive to us, and all they want to do is win, and all we want to do is win. So we're pretty good together there.
Yeah. And looking at this year, I know, what's the biggest differences coming from, the NASCAR West Series and racing with Bill McNally and now all of a sudden jumping into ARCA, and you've got, obviously you missed Daytona, but you're running to these iconic tracks now like Pocono and Talladega and things like that. But, I mean, what's been the biggest step up that you've seen from what you were doing last year to what you're doing this year?
I feel like just the competition level itself and all the 1.5 miles and 2-mile tracks that we get to go to. And another big thing would be the live pit stops, which definitely prepares you for the higher levels in NASCAR because the West Series doesn't have live pit stops. So it's neat to come into your box and leave your box make up time or lose time on pit road. So that's kind of a cool aspect to it.
Yeah. Well, and looking at your career, obviously you're 18, you're running an ARCA series this year. I mean, where do you see things moving? You know what I mean? A couple of years down the line, do you feel like you need to spend a year or two in ARCA? What's next after that? Xfinity?
Well, we just gotta take it one race at a time. I just gotta still stack up my resume a little bit more. That win at Pocono was really, really big for me and my team. But we're headed to Michigan now. We're gonna go try to see if we can't put that one on the resume too.
Yeah, that'll be definitely be solid. Michigan. That's
it's pretty incredible. I do have to say, just listening to you speak and. For 18 years old and just turning 18, like, you're very wise among your years, and it really seems like you have a great head on your shoulder. And I mean, I come from the moto background where, it's a really young sport, and a lot of these kids got to grow up really fast, and they're kind of all over the map. But it really seems like you got a good head on your shoulders. I mean, you have the pedigree, your family's involved in this sport, but it really sounds like you know what you want. You got a plan of action, and you're, mature for your age, and it's really unique to see because, again, being 18 years old, thrown into, ARCA already, and again, these huge, big tracks. A lot of people with a little bit of a younger mindset, it might freak them out or whatever, but it sounds like you're very mature and you're able to take on these, all these new circumstances with a lot of maturity, and it's pretty interesting to listen to you speak about it. It's going to help you in your future careers for sure.
Oh, thank you very much. That means a lot.
Yeah. Well, and I know, too, like, one thing I found really cool is, like, you're in this NASCAR Next program, right? And I know there's quite a few drivers in there, but, Haley Deegan, I had her on air a couple of weeks ago, and I know she's kind of part of that program, too. But one thing I've really thought it was exciting is I know, like, after your win, you've got these other drivers in, like, the NASCAR Next program and things like that. They're congratulating you and on social media and stuff like that. And I think that's one thing that's cool is you guys are all coming up through this program. You're all pegged to be the future stars of NASCAR, but it seems like, I'm sure there's competition on the track, but at the end of the day, it seems like you guys are really supporting each other as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like the unwritten rule in racing for our age is that we're all best friends off the track and stuff like that. But on the track, there's no hard feelings. Everybody's going for the win. But I feel like it's really good that way because there's no feelings or anything on the track, but we're all friends off the track.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that next NASCAR Next program really, groomed that relationship between these new upcoming drivers, which is, something you never had a couple years ago and, 10, 20 years ago as well. And, I really like that. And, again, meeting other athletes that come from different backgrounds will hopefully maybe open the doors when, we might want to jump ship and go to desert racing or something. It's really good to make these types of relationships and connections and whatnot with all these different types of drivers from different backgrounds.
Yeah, it's really neat. We got one kid from Canada in the class, and then Haley and myself are considered from off-road racing roots. So, and then you got Todd Gillen just from the son of David Gillen and Jeff Burton's son Harrison. So it's all cool how everybody comes together and everybody's the same age. So it's really neat, but we're all having fun.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in today, Riley, man. It's great to catch up with you, and shoot, I'm just looking at your driver bio, and I'm like, holy crap, you're born in 1999. I'm like, I graduated high school in 99. To me, it's just like, holy crap, man. No, best of luck to you. Hopefully we can catch up soon. I know your dad was pumped. I saw immediately after the race. I was actually watching it on TV, and, and I'm pulling for you because you've got the off-road roots, and, and I know your family and stuff like that, but he was pumped. He was immediately on Instagram, like, all right, we did it. And I thought it was pretty rad, dude. It's a total family atmosphere you got going on.
Yeah, it is super cool. And I was just really happy to have my dad and my grandpa there with me to see me win at Pocono. I feel like that was really neat.
Yeah, it was definitely a special moment. But thanks a lot for calling in, buddy. Best of luck to you the rest of this year. Hopefully another win comes and we can get you back on air.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Thanks a lot, Riley.
See ya.
See ya. All right. That was Riley Herbst, your winner of the General Tire Anywhere As Possible 200 at Pocono this past weekend. And, man, talk about an awesome kid with a huge future ahead of him. I think man, I don't know. He's got a bright future, Hood.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, again, like, when you listen to him speak, he doesn't sound like an 18-year-old kid at all. Like, I'm pretty blown away with his level of maturity, and I think that really will set him apart, amongst all these other young up-and-comers to, really be able to kind of power through this crazy, tough, insane industry that we call motorsports, because, man, it will eat you up and spit you out unless you have a head on your shoulders, and it definitely sounds like he does. But, again, that really comes with having this, a big family background in it. Haley Deegan as well, and him, their fathers grew up in this, and it kind of sets the pace and, a path for success. So hopefully he can get a couple more wins this season. It's exciting to watch somebody so young.
Yeah, he's got a solid support system. I mean, his family, his family's, involved, and I don't know, man. Like I said, the whole family races. He's got a great support system. They're out there at the races, pushing for him, pulling for him. And I think nothing but success to come from Riley Herbst for sure. So it's going to be great to watch his career path. But we got to take a short break. We come back. We got some questions we're going to be asking or answering here on the show. So you got any more? Tweet me at JimBeaver15. We'll get him plugged in here in the next segment. But all that more coming at you on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, getting ready to kick off some Q&A. I don't know. We've got a stockpile of them between this show and Project Action. Now I get a ton of them, so I had to weed through a few of them. But I don't know. It's been months since we've done one of these, so I had to pick kind of the best. Some of them have been sitting in there a while, and I don't know. We'll roll with it. It's tough for me. Like, I'm so sidetracked today, Hood, because so with Project Action, I cover a lot of pop culture and stuff like that in the show, along with, I don't know, I've got, I don't know, it's action, sports, celebrities, badasses, and racing, and we pretty much do whatever the heck we want. But right now they've got, I don't know if you're familiar with E3. So E3 is the biggest, like, video game and kind of pop culture conference in the world, and it's going on right now in L.A.
My feelings about video games. That's cool, and I know it's culture, and that's totally all right with me. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, well, I know, but it's going on right now, so I'm getting my Twitter feed for the show is actually getting bombarded with all this stuff from E3. So I'm like reading this news, and I got to get you in some sims. Like, they've got some simulators at Dirtfish for like rally racing and stuff like that. And I think I could change you. I think I could change your mind if I got you in a sim. You'd be like, video games are kind of rad.
I heard some of the sims are really insane, and isn't there this one company that can make a simulator based on whatever particular motorsport that you drive? And I hear that they could do one on a monster truck. And I'm like, dude, however much it costs, I'm going to go to the bank, take out a loan, and please build me one in my garage, because I need all the help and training I can get, because I want to kill it and I want to do cool tricks. So come on over and build that thing for me.
Yeah, Dirt 4 just came out this past week, and actually my publicist and communications manager for StarCar, Jen Horsey, she's been a guest. It's been a while since we've had her on. She used to do TV for ESPN. She's actually a professional rally co-driver. She did all the voice work for the co-driver in Dirt 4, but give her a shout-out. But Dirt 4 is out, but I know Dirtfish Rally School is part of Dirt 4, and in the game, you literally go to Dirtfish Rally School to get your training. In the game, just like you would in real life to go. It's pretty cool. So there's a tie-in with Dirtfish as well, but I don't have my copy yet, but I'm going to get one. But I know this game will probably get plugged into the Sims at Dirtfish, so I'm pretty excited next time I go up there to be able to do it. But
that's really cool.
Yeah, Mitchell DeYoung, who we had as a guest on the show like 2 weeks ago, his dad actually builds simulators, and Mitchell's one of the best. He's like a world champion in iRacing, which is like the simulator racing series with PCs, and he's got like this $10,000, $15,000 simulator, and I've seen it, and it's insane. His dad wants to build me one, and I just can't find the funds to do it. But I'm sure I would have a ton of fun with it. But yeah, you want one, and you got the coin. I know the people to put you in touch with, Hood.
I mean, I don't think I got 30 grand lying around, but yeah, I'll just keep dreaming. Yeah, I'll keep dreaming. Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, getting to some questions. We got a lot of them. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to all of them. First one, this one came in last week right after the Baja 500, so I figured we got Andy McMillan, the winner, on in hour number 2. Well, why not talk about this one a bit? But Mike in San Diego, it's on Baja, and basically, Jimmy, how can they fix the tracking and do better? It seems like tracking's been around for like 10, 15 years. And I'm ad-libbing his question here, but he says it seems like every year it's the same problems and the same complaints. Hey, man, I agree with you completely. I think how they need to fix the tracking is you got a bunch of whiny drivers, and anytime there's an excess on the entry fee, they get all pissy about it. And so good tracking comes from having good tracking systems in the race cars, right? Dakar, we all see that, and everybody wonders, how come we can't do it? Well, those systems cost the racers a ton of money, right? And it all gets tacked onto the entry fee. Well, off-road, if they were to tack on an extra $1,000 onto our entry fee, everybody's going to get up in arms and whine and cry and bitch and moan and everything else. So I think that's where the problem is we've got this, this magical number of like $250 or $300, and if they go over that per race, all the drivers get up in arms and cry and moan. So I think whenever the drivers decide they want to buck up and pay for the really good tracking, then everybody at home is going to get the benefit of it. So I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. But that I don't know. I mean, I agree with you. There is problems. It seems like every year it's a pain in the rear. But the systems are out there. It's just a matter of integrating them. And I don't know, maybe they just need to get a sponsor to step up and sponsor all the tracking, and then they'll be able to subsidize it for all the drivers. I don't know. The systems are out there. It's just they're very expensive. So
until we want to, as a collective group of off-road drivers, buck up and pay the excess funds, I don't know that it's going to happen. So, we may just be having to fight through this every year. Hopefully it gets better. I know Best in the Desert's got a new system, and it seems to be doing pretty well this year. I don't know, Vegas to Reno, that's a big one. That's a good test, so we'll see if it gets better for Vegas to Reno. But Baja, that adds in a whole other mix because you're down in Mexico and everything else. But I don't know. Systems are out there. All cost money, Mike. So there you go. Next one.
That was an interesting question. I just have to add, I think that was really good.
Yeah. There's good systems. I mean, it's just all costs money, right? So next one, we'll throw a moto question out there. This one was who was from this? I don't know. My notes here, when I pulled them off, I actually, my apologies. I don't have your name for this one. It's not written down. But it was a moto question, so I'll shoot this one at Hood's way. But when will Roxon be back, and how good do you guys think he will be when he gets back? So we'll let Amy start with this one.
Well, I think when Roxon does come back, which is actually unknown right now. I mean, he had a horrible accident. He was actually not even supposed to be able to move his arm again. But obviously, being as fit and incredible as he is, that is Ken Roxon. He's bouncing back as fast as he can, and I think when Ken Roxon comes back, he's going to be a machine. I mean, he's young, he has a lot to prove. He's missed a whole bunch of seasons, and I know that's. He ain't going to stand for that. So when he's going to come back, he's going to come back with a vengeance. But we also have, his arch nemesis and rival, and a friend, of course. But
frenemy.
Ryan Dungey is out.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said frenemy.
Frenemy, yes, exactly. But, he's out of the game. So right now, I think Ken Roxon is kind of plotting who his next dream rivalry is going to be with. And yeah, but I do believe he is coming back, but I know there's no word on when. His injury is extremely severe, and it's, taking him a lot. Recovery is a long time for that, but I hope he does make it back. I haven't heard anything at all.
Yeah, I know he's been he hasn't given any dates, but I know, like, on social media, following him and stuff like that, he's been like he's basically laid the gauntlet down. He says, when I get back, I will be champion. Yeah. And he's pretty much said it. Like, you're not gonna get Ryan. You're not gonna get Ken Roxon that you saw at the beginning of this year. You're gonna get Ken Roxon. Yeah. Like Ken Roxon on steroids. Not really, but like you're going to get, there's no doubt. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to win the championship first year back. I'm going to predict that hands down. I did find one thing funny though. You're talking about Dungey and the whole frenemy thing. There was a, right after, Dungey announced his retirement, Roxon throws up on Instagram, and Dungey's wife even got a laugh. And they were commenting, but he goes, "Congrats on the retirement, buddy." He's like, "Now maybe you'll actually have a beer with me."
Yeah, I know. I saw that too.
And
that's the thing. Like, all these guys are friends, off the track, but they're like extreme rivalries. Like, they are battling to all edges of their comfort zones, and yeah. But now I'm so excited for when Ken Roxon does come back, because it's going to be a while. There's going to be a whole outdoor season. There was a whole Supercross season. And now it's like, who is going to be his next challenger? Who's going to step up to plate? Is it going to be Jason Anderson, Eli Tomac, Baggett? I mean, Baggett's having a great outdoor season. Is Cooper Webb going to step it up soon? Like, I am so excited to see how the next, kind of era of hero and villain, and it's like the James Stewart and James Stewart and Ricky Carmichael, who's going to be in the next battle royale when Ken Roxon comes back. Because you obviously know it's going to be Ken Roxon versus somebody else, and I'm really excited to see who it is, and if he's going to have any challengers, because Ryan Dungey was really the only one who could challenge Ken Roxon. So it's going to be so exciting.
Yeah, well, and this leads us to our next question. This one I was going to ask here in a bit, but kind of talking about people coming up. This is this one actually had no name attached to it, but good solid question that leads us into. But it says two-part question: who is the best pure talent as far as kids coming up in moto you see, and who is in second part is who's most likely to make the jump next year from 250 to 450. I think the best pure talent coming up as far as kids go that I can see, Ryder DiFrancesco. I know we had him on air a month or two back, but that kid is just insanely good.
Okay,
He's
so
the
we're
prodigy.
talking little kids.
Yeah, well, as far as little kids coming up, I'm saying him. Like
And
he's
Danger Boy Deacon.
I would say, yep, and Danger Boy's even younger. So Ryder's got about 5 years on Danger Boy, but I would say, I'd say Ryder DiFrancesco, and then behind him, Danger Boy. Absolutely, those two. I would say Danger Boy, absolutely. That kid is just killing it. So I don't know.
I feel like he's going to be the next Travis Pastrana kind of in the works. Well, I think he needs a little bit of an attitude adjustment, no offense, but, I mean, I have seen his social media posts, and he needs to tone it down a little notch about his,
You know what, though?
That's all I'm going to say about that.
You know what, though? I think his dad runs his account, Hood. I seriously, I don't think he's posting. I think his parents are running his account.
I know his parents run his account, but I've heard some of his commentating.
Yeah.
I've heard some of his, I've heard it in the pits, too.
Yeah.
But hopefully, stay humble, kids. They come up through the rankings so fast, and, we just talked to an extremely humble kid, 18 years old, driving ARC Series, who sounds extremely humble. Winning. So, yeah, all of these kids. And Ryder DiFrancesco is a great example of kids who have remained humble. Anytime I see him at the track or at, a Supercross, he always stops and says hi. He holds himself extremely well. He's a very well-groomed, little legend. And, that's the thing. These kids get thrown into these lifestyles, these, taking Jimmy John's plane on a plane ride back to their hometown, a.k.a. Ryder DiFrancesco. And, they're making money. They got these big sponsorship deals. They got free swag coming out of, who knows where, around a Monster helmet or a Red Bull helmet. They grow up so quickly, and some of them, unfortunately, I've seen it in a lot of these Monster Energy athletes and these young ones. I'm not going to name any names, but they're all over social media where, man, they are, I don't even think they've hit puberty, and they seem like little a-holes. And you can even see that through social media. And, they just get wrapped into this industry and don't have, they don't have the social inept and ability to be able to handle all that pressure and all, everything that comes their way. And, people like Ryan DiFrancesco are going to have a long career because they have a good head on their shoulders. Like I said this earlier, but I'll preach it because I really strongly believe on this. That's the reason why Travis Pastrana has the career that he has, is because he's remained,
humble,
grounded.
Yeah.
All these, yes.
Trav is the most. I would say I'm pretty good friends with Trav at this point, and to the point we text once in a while. And he is the most humble human being I've ever met. As far as he seriously is, and that's the truth. But we got to take a short break. I think we got a segment coming up in hour number 2. Maybe we'll take the rest of these questions in that segment. But we got to take a short break. We come back. Got a few Torc results, the Dirtfish Rally Report, and then Joe Duncan coming at you on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Book your midweek getaway today. Riverfront rooms starting at just $84.95 at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Our gaming floor is packed with the hottest slots, table games, poker, and bingo. Live entertainment, fine and casual dining, boat slips, movie theater, wakeboard island, and fun for all. Book your getaway stay at Blue Water Resort and Casino today. Sunday through Thursday room rates start at just $84.95 when booked online only at BlueWaterFun.com.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Honey, it's the trunk load of cash at the Blue Water Resort and Casino, and they're giving away $76,000 in cash.
Oh yeah, the more we play, the more entries we can earn.
Woohoo! Plus, they're giving away over $3,000 in cash every Saturday.
Then on Saturday, June 24th, a guaranteed $43,000 in cash will be given away.
See the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. Got some quick Torc results before we head to the next break. Got one of these fancy 3-minute segments they set us up with in national syndication. Wish that would get changed somehow, but probably not happen anytime soon. But anyways, we did have Torc happening up there at ERX Motor Park in Elk River, Minnesota. And Pro 4 winner, obviously we had one round that got in, round 3, round 4, got canceled due to weather and got moved to the fall round. They're going to do a triple header. So, man, it's going to be worth making the trip to Elk River for a triple header in one weekend. But anyways, we had CJ Greaves taking the win in Pro 4. It was Vanden Heuvel taking the win in Pro 2. Pro Light had Kyle Kleeman taking it over Carlson, the local boy, to take the Pro Light victory. And then we had CJ Greaves remaining perfect in Pro Stock UTV racing on the season, and Van Efteren held off Cheney for the win in Pro Mod UTV. So we got more Torc coming at you next. I guess next, I don't know, when is it? I think we got Fall Crandon coming up, but or Spring Crandon or Summer Crandon, whatever they call it, one of those Crandons. Anyways, first of the 2 Crandons, that's coming up here in a few weeks in late June, and then, we've got a couple other rounds sprinkled in there, and then the big one Labor Day weekend. So Torc just getting started this year, and I'm kind of excited about these new mix of tracks they've got going on in the Midwest, and some solid racing action. Their UTV division is just exploding, man. And who's going to catch CJ Greaves?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, it's crazy. UTV in Torc has just exploded. Man, I got a bunch of friends that are actually making the trip from the West Coast to run these races out there. It's become that big, but I think Crandon in Labor Day weekend is just going to explode. I've heard of so many West Coast UTV teams making out the trip to try and be crowned world champ. But that was your Torc results. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we got Dirtfish Rally Report coming at you here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Those of you listening online, I've had some people wonder about why we have those quick segments, those 3-minute segments back-to-back. If you're listening in national syndication, it makes sense. If you're listening online, just so you guys know, this show does go out to like 200 networks on Wednesday mornings. So if you're listening online and wondering why we take these segments with a 1-minute break, you realize in national syndication, that's actually an 8-minute break. So they actually air a bunch of local news and then like national news and stuff like that in it at the end of the first hour. So if you're listening online, it sounds weird. If you're listening in national syndication, it's normal because that 1-minute break online is actually 8 minutes when we air on all these AM/FM networks. So just a bit of information for you guys, and you wonder why, because I've actually had people ask me why we take that 1-minute break. So it's just a filler for the national news when we air nationally. So there you go. Now you know. But right now, it is a Dirtfish Rally.
If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't know, now you do. But we got a Dirtfish Rally report coming at you right now from our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com, and be sure and use that code JBDirtfish for 15% off any class at Dirtfish Rally School when you do make your way up there. So Dirtfish Rally report this weekend. Only rally we had was the FIA World Rallycross Championship, and they were racing in hell. Literally, Hell RX. It's called Hell, and it's there in Norway. There's a track called Hell in Norway, and it's badass, let me tell you. But Johan Kristoffersen, he took the win. Andreas Bakkerud, my boy Bakkerud Blue, in second, and then the legend Sebastian Loeb in third, Matthias Ekstrom fourth, Timmy Hansen, and Timur Zanoff in sixth. Ken Block just narrowly missing the final by about 9/10 of a second. Edging out, Timmy Hansen edged him out in the semifinal. Block fourth, didn't make the final, but right now your points championship is Kristoffersen out front, followed by Ekstrom and Solberg. Those are your top three, and that was your Dirtfish Rally report for this week. And also coming up, we got this weekend Red Bull Global Rallycross heading north of the border to Canada. First time they've ever raced in Canada. They're going to be in action in Ottawa. So if you're in Ottawa and you're listening, you should go and watch Red Bull Global Rallycross this weekend. Just saying. I'm sure they're going to have it on TV up there in Canada too, you would think. But I don't know. How far is Ottawa from you, Hood? Across the country?
A good 32-hour drive.
Oh, let's road trip it.
And the funny thing is, it's actually the province next door to me. So that just goes to show how big Canada actually is. It takes 30 hours to drive next door.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, we got to take a break. We come back, Joe Duncan, and we got Rob Fisher with E3 Spark Plugs. They are going to be on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder R.J. Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Book your midweek getaway today. Riverfront rooms starting at just $84.95 at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Our gaming floor is packed with the hottest slots, table games, poker, and bingo. Live entertainment, fine and casual dining, boat slips, movie theater, wakeboard island, and fun for all. Book your getaway stay at Blue Water Resort and Casino today. Sunday through Thursday room rates start at just $84.95 when booked online only at BlueWaterFun.com.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, joined on the line by Joe Duncan and Rob Fisher, Vice President of E3 Spark Plugs. This is Terracross Starts with Optimus Starters. How's everything going, guys?
Fantastic, man. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you. Nice to, I guess, meet you via the phone. But yeah, good to have you on, man. I know we've been trying for a week or two, but
hello.
Hey, we got Amy chiming in. You there, Joe?
I'm here. Hey, Amy. Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Hey.
What up, Joe?
Yeah. So did you survive the race this weekend up there, Joe? It got rained out, day number 2, huh?
Got to give it to that ERX crew and facility up there, because they really outdid themselves with that facility and all the hard work that Derek and the whole team up there put in, Sportex and Playsteads, and just amazing what they did. And Mother Nature, been fighting her for years, and you can't beat her. You gotta live with her. Lots of awning damage. I don't think some of these people understood how nasty some of our Minnesota storms can be, and they didn't heed the warning. And we got our Terracross awning down thanks to the boys over at Polaris, and we got that down, and all of our stuff was fine and dandy. But some of those rigs were pretty messed up, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like I said before. Before we started talking about it on the show, I said, for them to cancel an off-road race. I mean, we're a sport that we run in any kind of weather. I mean, I've raced in rain and snow and everything else in the desert, but I'm like, for them to cancel an off-road race due to weather, it was bad. I mean, you just don't cancel off-road races, right? So it had been pretty gnarly up there, man.
It was absolutely unbelievable. The lightning strikes were more lightning strikes than E3 spark plugs can put in their spark plugs. Wow. It was insane.
I love that segue
that's
there.
the fact you know it's bad.
Oh, man, that's a heck of a segue there, Joe. But, yeah, Rob Fisher with E3 Spark Plugs, man. Well, welcome to the show once again. I know I'm super familiar with the product. I run them in my trophy truck and in my razors and, and pretty much just any competition vehicle I have. But I know you and Joe have been working together on something for Terracross. Sounds like we got you on board for 2017. Good to have you part of the series.
Yeah, definitely. We're real excited. We're looking forward to a great year this year with Terracross guys. You know, we tested it out last year, and we got such a great response from it, and everybody was so embracing of the brand, and that's an important market for us. The power sports segment for our company is one of the fastest growing market segments. So, the product that the guys, that Joe and the guys at Terracross are putting out it's unique, it's different, it's cool. And, we really like it. So I'll say it was almost a no-brainer to come back,
Man, you're taking a line from Joe Duncan. That's I think that's his patented line there. But, Joe, I mean, how did this all get put together? What are we looking to see with E3 Spark Plugs and Terracross this year?
Well, from our phone call last week, we had Dave Illy on board, and Dave drove the E3 Spark Plugs car last year. Dave from Polaris Industries there, and he'll be driving it again, and he will be in the pro class with the E3. Dave got a win last year in the E3 Spark Plugs car, and he'll be in the pro class this year, and we just got things. We got some really cool stuff coming. We got some. E3 knows a little bit about what's coming for the future, and we just got some great, with heydays in the power sports crowd and our military Terracross Sports the Troops event. It's just like Rob said, a no-brainer for us to team up and to work together. We got some testing going on. We have some vehicles that we're able to work with them on, and just a great relationship. What a great company.
Yeah. Well, and Rob, here's a question for you, because I use your product, but we've got a lot of listeners that tune in that are power sports enthusiasts and things like that, and I want to hear it straight from you. I can tell them something all day long, but I'd like to hear it direct from you. I mean, I've felt the difference in especially my UTVs, but for all our power sports listeners, whether it be snowmobiles or dirt bikes or razors, I mean, what's the biggest difference? What's the advantage that these consumers can see by putting E3 into their razors or into their dirt bike?
Well, E3 utilizes something called Diamond Fire technology, and you know what it is because obviously you're familiar with the plugs. It's the ground electrode that has a different design than your traditional J-wire plug. Okay, it's in the shape of a diamond with three little legs that come down on it. That design, in essence, allows us to burn the air-fuel mixture in the engine, any engine, quicker and more completely. And when you utilize more of the air-fuel mixture, right, what do? You get more power, you get faster and easier starts, you get reduced emissions, and you get better fuel efficiency. So for the guys who are running, and regardless, whether it's a snowmobile, whether it's a jet ski, a razor, what have you, if you're using more of that air-fuel mixture, those are the benefits that you're going to get. And we've heard guys, but most people will recognize the benefits in two areas, okay, when it comes to power sports plugs. They'll recognize the more power, so faster throttle response, crisper throttle response, and the things will start easier. Yeah. Particularly for some of the older vehicles out there on the road, or on the dirt, as the case may be. Things sitting in the garage for a while, pull it out, hard to start, switch over to an E3, that thing will just start right up instantly, and you're on your way. So those are the two big characteristics that people tend to recognize right off the bat when they put a new E3 plug in their vehicle. Then, of course, you have the additional benefits of better fuel efficiency, anywhere from 3 to 13%, depending on your vehicle. And then the reduced emissions, because, if you think about it, if you're burning more of the air fuel mixture more completely, you're going to have lower emissions. So it's a side benefit because everybody likes to be clean, right?
Yeah, exactly. We read about that all day, every day. You pull up MSN.com or Yahoo or any of the front page news websites, and it's all about, the environment and things like that. So not only are you making more power, but you're helping the environment. I think, it's as we would say, it's a no-brainer.
Win-win.
Win-win. Oh, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's good to have you on board. Stoked to have you in this segment. And what else is coming at us from Terracross the next couple of weeks, Joe?
Well, I'm heading off to Raleigh, North Carolina tomorrow, and we're going to design a racetrack and facility down there. So hopefully by the time I get back by next Tuesday, we'll have some updates and some info on our round 2 of Terracross down in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Awesome. Well, it seems like the schedule's starting to slot together. We got to kick off at Heydays, and we're going to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I guess the TBD would be the third stop on the calendar. But I don't know. We can all you can keep us on pins and needles until you're ready to drop that, Joe.
We'll keep you in suspense for a little bit here.
Yeah, I know. I talked to Brandon Sims this past weekend, and he's like amped, and he's like, "Man, I got to know the schedule." I don't know. All of us at Race Terracross are always texting, "Hey, do you know anything? Do you know?" And and it's just everybody gets excited about it. Find out where we get to travel to this year.
Well, it's going to be nice because we're going to have some long-term plans being released here in August, and people may be able to make Terracross plans for the next couple of years. So pretty excited when we get to announce that info, and I think that'll really make some people jumping for joy and be able to plan things out for a couple of years out for partners and sponsors and racers and machines and parts and you name it, spark plugs and Odyssey batteries and Optimus starters and all that good stuff. We'll have some long-term planning being released in August.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Joe.
Jim, can you just hear the multi-year deal proposal that I'm going to get come August once he announces it?
Hey, Rob, let me just slide this email in there, and we just need a quick signature, and we'll worry about the rest later. I know how that is, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh man, I love it. All right. Well,
I'm just playing, Joe.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the time, Rob. Much appreciated. You're welcome to come on anytime, but you guys keep up the good work. I appreciate it, man. You're keeping my Razors and Trophy Truck on point, so much appreciated, man.
Right on, man.
All right.
It's our pleasure. We appreciate the support.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rob. Thanks, Joe, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Honey, it's the trunkload of cash at the Blue Water Resort and Casino, and they're giving away $76,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah. The more we play, the more entries we can earn.
Woohoo! Plus, they're giving away over $3,000 in cash every Saturday.
Then on Saturday, June 24th, a guaranteed $43,000 in cash will be given away.
See the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, and just got done with our Terracross Starts with Optimus starter segment. We had Rob Fisher from E3 Spark Plugs on the line, along with Joe Duncan, Amy, and myself. But right now, we get some news to talk about coming out of the racing world. Before we get to that, I do have to say my Razor Star Car video is at 99,100 views. So I just checked during the break, and we're like 900 short of 100K. So hopefully you guys are tuning in, can go over there and watch it. Maybe we can get over the hump while we're on air or something. I don't know. I'll check back in the next commercial break. But 99,100. So we're inching our way up there. But speaking of videos, I texted Amy a video over the weekend. It was big news coming out of motorsports world. It kind of went a little bit viral. But Danica Patrick, I know. It kind of relates to all motorsports, but she got booed.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
She got booed at the race this past weekend. Basically, she was getting out of the car. I don't know if she was going to get in the car to go drive, or she's just getting out and she needed to go talk with her crew chiefs. Either way, she was
going to get ready to race.
Yeah, she was going to get ready to race. But anyways, fans were all lined up, and they wanted her autograph. So they started, yelling, and she was just like, "Hang tight, I'm busy right now." But I know how these drivers are because I've been at the Indy 500. Like when you got something going on, you say, "Hey, I'll be back. I'll sign when I can." But they started booing her. And she kind of went and defended herself, and I thought, rightfully so. Like she said, hey, I'm a human being too, basically I'm not a robot, you can't just treat me this way. And, I've got a job, and that's racing cars first, and, and the fans come second. And she's like, I love signing autographs, but I can only do it when I have the time, and I know how that is, like, because I've been, at a lot of races, and, even me doing interviews and stuff like that when I was at the Indy 500 or out at rally events and doing pit reporting and stuff like that. You do interviews, but, guys get out of the car, they're getting ready to get into the car. That's not when you do it. They'll get out of the car, and, I'll look at them and like, hey, do you want to do this now, or do you want me to come back in 5 minutes? And 9 times out of 10, they go, give me 5 minutes, just to decompress, get a drink of water, talk to the mechanics, and then I'll do the interview. But it's the same with autographs. It's like, hey, just give me a second, I'll come back and I'll do these. But, fans and especially in NASCAR and IndyCar, like when I was at the Indy 500, I saw fans and they had folders full of pictures, and it wasn't that they were a fan that wanted a photo signed because it's going to go on their wall or in their garage. It's because they're going to eBay it. Like when you see a guy with a folder, literally like a briefcase full of signed things, I'm like, no, these things are getting punted, and I think drivers see that and they know, and it's like, you want to sign for the kids and the fans, but the real fans, but you don't want to sign for somebody that's going to make all this money. But NASCAR and IndyCar, it's become that way, and I kind of side with Danica on this one. Like I felt bad for her, I don't know, what's your take on this, Hood?
Oh my gosh, I am the complete opposite. if it wasn't for those fans, especially with her losing her big title sponsorship in 2017, Danica would have no job. There would be absolutely no motorsports, monster trucks, motocross, NASCAR, freaking professional golfing or knitting, whatever. There would be nothing without our fans. And that is the one thing that, we really preach for Monster Jam. Like, I know our demographic is a lot younger, but I've gotten in trouble from our like the people who kind of run our autograph lines and some of our event coordinators, because if someone comes up to me, like, I'm never going to deny somebody of my autograph. Like, it's a complete honor that somebody would even ask for my autograph, but we have to understand and we have to take ourselves down out of this level that, we may think that we are when we're at these events. And like, people are paying money to come and watch us perform and to be entertained and to, as much as people think, yes, NASCAR is racing, you know what? It's also an entertainment show. There's, 100,000 people sitting in the stands, 1 million people watching on TV, and they're there to be entertained. And it is our job as athletes and performers to entertain and to be ambassadors and to be role models and to sign autographs. And like I said, I get in trouble sometimes because I will stay a little bit longer and I'll sign autographs when I need to be shuffled towards my section for pre-show interviews. And, I do everything that it takes to make sure those fans leave with the best experience possible. And that's what you get known as an athlete. Like, again, the Trey Canards, I've seen Trey Canard walk through regular crowds at outdoor nationals, signing everybody, signing kids' hands and their coffee cups and whatever. I've had kids come through the crowd with napkins that they go and run to the bathroom with. Like, that just shows how important that interaction with, could be their idol. Like, a lot of these people, Danica Patrick, that is their idol. And she went and argued with them for like 5 minutes. Shut up. Sign that kid's thing. If you have time to go and argue with a fan, you could certainly have time to shut your mouth and sign something. Like, it actually offended me watching her, yip back to somebody. Like, I understand if somebody booed you, but then you know what? You got to suck up your pride and walk away. You can't, go there and argue because, again, there's cameras around you. It's how you hold yourself as an athlete. It's how you deal with these tough situations. Like, I bet you if she went there and signed something instead of arguing, all would have been forgiven. I understand how hard it is to be booed, but, that is your job. Like, I know your job is to be a racer, but it's also to be an entertainer and, to be a good role model. Like, I don't know. I was really offended to watch that happen. And, I've seen a lot of the comments on the videos, and everybody said the same thing. Well, if you're going to go stand there and argue and state your claim that you're still a person too, just grab the kids, whatever, and sign it. Like, it's not that hard, and that is your job. Yeah. That is what we take on to be a professional athlete, me as well, and I'm certainly not making multi-millions, and I know these NASCAR people are. Sign the damn poster. Like, really, that's all you have to do. Yeah. We are very blessed with a dream job that every single person wishes that they could have, and it comes with responsibilities, and that is signing everything. I just have to say that. So yeah.
I think I agree with you about her walking over. I'm like, yeah, if you got time to walk over there and complain, you had time to sign the autographs. I think me as a driver, I've never turned down an autograph. And another guy I know that's never turned down an autograph, and I think we can both say, we said it earlier in the show, is Travis Pastrana. He's one of the classiest guys and the most humble guys on earth. And he's like, these fans are why I am who I am, right? But I think there should be an unwritten rule, and fans should understand this. The 5 minutes before you get in your race car is your time. The 5 minutes after you get out of your race car is your time. Any other time, I am open and we can talk and I'll sign autographs. But I get 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after. What's that?
Yes, but if you're going to go argue with, stay away from the public. If you're going to go and argue with somebody rather than grabbing their thing and and signing whatever that needs to be signed, but at the same time, again, like I don't understand how she can talk to a fan like that as well. Like, I know there's a lot of pressure, but doesn't she understand the reciprocations or whatever that word is there.
Yeah.
I'm so heated right now. I can't even think properly because I view it very differently because, especially with Monster Jam, they really preach, like, we are all about the fans. We are a live entertainment show. It is very different than NASCAR. But with motocross and anything and just now stepping into the light as, yes, I'm a professional athlete. Like, there's cameras on me. There's people who come to watch me and, alone, like, specifically. I am extremely humbled and honored. But I don't know, maybe it's different because I come from literally nothing, and I come from hand-me-down bikes and, borrowed gear and everything. Like, I've worked my butt off to get to where I am. And if Danica preaches that, getting respect in the industry as a woman driver, as a woman athlete, respect, girl, act like it. Like, act like you appreciate everything because, this with a snap of the fingers, it can get pulled away from you, and you gotta. I'm really disappointed. And maybe if she spends less time doing her half-naked bikini shots and more time focusing on her fans, I think she would have a little less booing and hate going on. Like, I'm really disappointed in the way she acted. And, if it was maybe any other type of circumstance, but when it comes down to a fan and how you treat your fans, I will never subside with the driver, the athlete, unless someone, like, throws something at you, but they just wanted an autograph. Like, girl, that's your job.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, I'm completely the opposite of you.
No, well, and you got to know, I take the devil's advocate on here for the sake of conversation. I'm not necessarily saying that you and I wouldn't have a good conversation if I agreed with you, but I actually, in real life, I agree with you.
I know.
But it's...
I yes, athletes need their own time and their downtime, but... You can go about it a completely different way. Do not be a biatch. Do not be diva because everybody is watching you. You've got cameras.
Yeah,
and the internet. Like, what do you not think? You don't think this is going to go viral on social media and you're going to be the biggest meme for the next 2 weeks? Girl, get your head together. Like, nuh-uh.
Yeah. Well,
no.
And
she's having a hard enough time right now getting respect, losing her ride. When you are down, all you can do is be the best advocate for your industry and your sport, ever. Like, she is going all about the wrong way with, the difficulties that she's having right now with her career. Like, she's got to kind of go about it a different way.
Yeah. Well, we got to take a break. We'll talk more about this later on, but we'll take a break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. We'll be back after this. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at ImpactRaceProducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, and I just got a text from our next guest, Andy McMillan. He's literally stepping out of a meeting. He said he's going to be like a minute or two late, but he is still calling in. So looking forward to having the Baja champ and the newest Red Bull athlete on the line. But yeah, I don't know, man. You were fired up in that last segment, Hood. It was pretty.
I know.
Man, hopefully Danica didn't tune in. She'd be like, "Holy crap, man!"
No, maybe it would have been a shock to reality coming from another female in another sport. Where Danica, you make way more than me. Everybody knows who you are, but monster trucks are way cooler. But I'm just saying.
She's got a personality that would fit in Monster Jam, other than the whole fan thing. But she's like she's a firecracker, man. I don't know that she's kid friendly though. She cusses a lot. I don't know that she's kid friendly.
Exactly. Well, clearly she's not fan friendly. We all know that now.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Like, no hate, whatever. But again, whatever sport you're doing, again, like I said, if it's professional downhill jet ski racing, ostrich racing, like knitting, whatever, you guys have to understand.
Ostrich racing? Have you ever raced an ostrich?
Yeah, I mean, but
have you ridden on one?
People ask, no, never. Even if we have ostriches in Canada.
Oh. But there's your retirement job. You need an ostrich farm. You can take the kids for rides on them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, we'll just jump ship because I don't want to even talk about this anymore. But a funny story. So, if people ever ask me, like, if I'm like, working out with a rock star hat on or something motocross or Monster Jam related, like, you get those bros that come up to you and like, if you're a chick and like, oh, what do you do? What kind of sport do you play? Well, sometimes I just feel it out and I really don't want to have a conversation with some bro guy about me racing motocross or monster trucks because it's just going to lead into them wanting my phone number or my Snapchat, which I don't own. And, I try to avoid the situation. So, I just throw something extremely weird and random out there, and I always like, oh yeah, I'm a professional downhill jet ski racer, and it's really funny because you can really tell how much of a bro they really are by their response. Because I've had so many people be like, oh yeah, I've watched one of those races before. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, bro, totally. And I actually went even further. This guy's like, yeah, wasn't it just on TV the other weekend, like the finals or something? And like he completely went with it. Like I was actually being serious. There is no professional downhill jet ski racing. It is made up. I'm lying to you. And it's so funny.
How would you even do that? You'd have to ride your jet ski off a waterfall. Like that's the only way to go down.
I know. Okay, and I'm not even kidding you. On the weekend, when I was in Florida, we went to a race, and then after, me, my boyfriend, and Jeff Sin all went out to like Wing House or something, and this guy asked us what we did, and that's what we said, and they were dead serious that they just watched us on TV on ESPN and watched our professional downhill jet ski race, and like we could not stop laughing. And then one of the girls that he was with had to Google it, and she's Googling this. I'm pretty sure she's had a couple adult beverages. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's a real thing. Like, oh, my goodness. Jim, I wish I had a camera on because that was the funniest conversation I've ever had in my life. And the guy completely went with it. And he thought we were dead serious. And he was like, Class A pro. And
hey, Hood, we're joined by. We got Andy McMillan on the line now. Hey, what's happening, Andy? We got Baja champ, newest Red Bull athlete, Andy McMillan. We're filling time by talking about ostrich racing, and we're creating sports, downhill jet ski racing. So I'm just telling you, you're joining a wild conversation here, buddy. Oh man,
sign me up. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta age you a bit here. You know who I just had on air in hour number 1, and I started looking at when he was born, and it was in '99. But I had Riley Herbst on, and we know the Herbst family, but
Wow.
kid is killing it. Won an ARCA race this year, and I'm like, I remember Riley, when he was a kid at the races, and I mean, like literally like a kid, and he's racing ARCA and winning now, and I'm like, holy crap! For us off-road guys, like that's pretty cool, man. It's really kind of cool that one of our own is doing that well at 18,
It really is cool. What's weird is I turned 30 this year, a couple months back, last month actually, and I was telling all my friends, I'm like, man, I've been racing half my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know if that makes me start to feel older or if I'm fortunate that I'm still young and I've been doing that, but it's pretty crazy. The Herbsts are a great family. Really cool to see Riley just killing it out there.
Yeah.
Putting off-road on the map. It's just really neat to see.
Yeah. Well, and like he said, he's like, I grew up and he started trophy kart racing. He's like, I wanted to race trophy trucks. And he's like, then we figured out there wasn't a whole lot of money in it. He's like, I figured, he's like, our family's not going away from off-road, but he's like, I wanted to see if I could make it in NASCAR. And he's like, I know I can always come back to off-road if I, he's like, it's not like we're selling the trophy trucks in the team or anything. But
absolutely.
It's kind of cool. He's got sponsors and, it's not like it's a family funded deal. He's actually got legit sponsors, Joe Gibbs Racing. I'm like, man, it's pretty cool for an off-road kid to be able to do something like that, and I know there's a time.
It is really cool. I mean, it shows.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows, that, look at Jimmy Johnson. Started off-road racing, honed all his skills, riding motocross, motorcycles, and getting into off-road trucks. And it just shows, the kind of, car control and vehicle control that you learn in off-road racing. That is an advantage because, I think to go fast on the asphalt, on the pavement, you got to be a little loose. And I think the off-road guys are comfortable driving loose because your rear end is always sliding around on you. So I think that just goes to show, what off-road can do to teach the younger kids, the importance of car control.
Yeah. Well, and how about you? I know, we'll talk about Baja here in a minute, but Red Bull, I want to talk about this deal because this one kind of came out of left field. Like, I know you've had a relationship with Red Bull. I mean, when you were, because you were that kid, you were the Riley Herbst of off-road when you were like 19. You were out winning and, you know what I mean?
Right.
You were, and Red Bull, I know, swept in and, that was at the time, I think, at one point you were racing with Robbie Gordon, but, they signed you to a deal and you were actually had a relationship with Red Bull. And then, it wasn't like things went bad. I just know there was a period there where you kind of stepped away from the sport and you had some other things going on.
Right.
And, and it wasn't like, you left on bad terms or anything. It was just, once in a while, there was a period of 3 or 4 years where I kind of didn't race, but maybe once a year or things like that. But now you've come back. That's got to be pretty special because it's not often Red Bull where somebody steps away, comes back, and then that relationship forms again. I mean, it's really rare, especially with Red Bull. But, I mean, that says something about the career you've had. But how did this all get put back together?
Yeah, it's it's actually pretty crazy. We kind of reached out to the Red Bull Mexico guys because that's kind of two separate entities. There's Red Bull North America, but then Mexico's kind of represented as Red Bull Mexico and then Red Bull US and Canada and all that. And so we reached out to them and didn't get a whole lot of responses. And then at the Mint 400 this year, I had the opportunity I was actually playing Top Golf, and the Motorsports marketing manager, Michael Gibbs, shot over, and we were playing Top Golf, and we just kind of hit it off, and I performed really well in the Mint 400, 2 days later, and was leading the race, and unfortunately had a flat tire and took us out of the win on the last lap. But I think, they just see the growth in off-road racing, especially there at the Mint 400 with, how we basically take over Las Vegas for the weekend. and they just see the growth and the potential, and are just wanting to be active and want to be represented. And they have Bryce Menzies, which is one of the best out there, obviously, and he's been representing them well, and they're just looking to add on another member to the team. So I was that's kind of how it goes. Is you have to be active and in the position in order to reap the rewards when they come along.
Yeah.
And
right.
luckily I started my own thing, in 2016 and won a couple races and just been in a good position to where when someone comes looking, you're one of the ones they're looking at. So I'm just super fortunate to be part of the family again. Like you said, I had Rebel back in 2007, sponsoring my whole program. How that all went down was I wasn't performing at the levels that I wanted to. We were racing our own trophy truck, and we're just struggling all year. We broke at every single race, never had a clean race. And I don't think I was ready for that pressure and that spotlight with that big of a brand behind me at 18, 19 years old. Yeah. And so probably just a little, naivety in me and just not ready for that. And looking back now, it's almost a blessing in disguise because, I'm much more mature at 30 years old, and I know what it means to be a Rebel athlete and to represent, the Bulls and the brand. And it's a very high honor, and I don't take it lightly. So I'm just super appreciative of the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, and then for them to helmet you, and then immediately Baja 500, dude. The last 2 years, these 500s have been ridiculously tough, and I know you guys had a nail biter. This one wasn't a runaway by any means, but they got to be pretty stoked to helmet you, and then all of a sudden the first race down there in Baja, you walk away with a victory, man. That had to have been pretty special.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely, I can't say it was unexpected, but to come out like that and give them their first win, their first race representing me, it definitely helped my position over there. Gibbs looked really good. And yeah, I'm just so fortunate. I mean, we had a really clean run. It was really tight there towards the end. Rob McCackern had a minute on me with about 100 miles to go. And, we picked up our pace and kind of played the game and came out on top. So it was, off-road racing is so much fun. That's why we all do it.
Yeah.
And when you get the opportunity to go for the win and have a chance to win and actually do win, it just makes it that much better.
Yeah. Well, and what's the rest of the year look like for you guys? I know I'm thinking Vegas to Reno and maybe the 1,000.
Yep. Next race is Vegas to Reno. Was able to win that race last year. That was the first race I won with the Tisco team and on my own program again. So that was a big win for us. And it was a 2-day race last year. Pretty much the same mileage, but they split it up into 2 days, which is always fun to get a race one day, go to sleep, and wake up the next day and race again. So looking forward to backing up our win there and hopefully make it 2 in a row for us.
Yeah, should be solid. And then 50th anniversary of the 1,000. I know this is a long one this year. What are the driving plans? You got anybody earmarked to team with you this year?
It's funny is I'm actually driving right now to go meet with my potential second partner.
Nice.
And try and work out the final details. So hopefully we get that ironed out, and we'll be able to announce that here pretty soon. But it's a well-known name. Very excited, and the potential of us teaming up together. I think the 50th anniversary, we're all expecting a pretty grueling, long race. So it's going to take 2 smart drivers with good experience and just put a solid run together and, try to knock Mr. McCackern off of his totem pole that he's sitting on with 3 Baja 1000s in a row.
Yeah.
And man, just try to beat that guy. He's got the 1,000 down.
Yeah, he's got some momentum going. But the good news is you've been over there on that side, so you kind of have an idea of the way they run things, right? So you got a little bit of insider info.
Yeah. I got a little insider input on what he's got going on. Me and Rob and Jason won in 2014, and then me and Rob won in 2015. Rob and I are very similar behind the wheel. We have very similar driving styles. Got a lot of respect for him and what he's able to do, and man, you know, I think he's nearing 50 if he's not 50, and he's keeping up with the young guys that we're all trying to put a lot of pressure on him, and he does not bow down. I think he loves competition. He loves off-road racing, and it's great for the sport. You know, the more competition, the better. I love winning races or battling for the win at races when it's super close.
Yeah.
You know, when you win by 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it's fun, but it's not as gratifying at the end when you can really battle someone out, you know, on your own terms, and you know, the best man comes out on top.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, buddy. We're kind of at time. I know you and I could talk some off-road all day long, but we'll have to do it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again when you're ready to make your announcement on your 1,000 team. Maybe we'll dial you in and for something then and get you back on air, buddy.
Let's do it.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Andy. I appreciate it, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Take it easy. That was Andy McMillan, newest Red Bull athlete and winner of the Baja 500, among many other races. But we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, wrapping things up on another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Make sure and head over and check out my RZR Star Car video. We're getting really, really close to 100,000 views, so that's up on Facebook. And make sure rate, review, subscribe to Project Action on Podcast One. New episode dropping this week. And, you know. And
I do have to say my Moto Chick video hit 1 million views, so I'm excited about it.
1 million?
Yes.
Holy crap. Good job. I thought you said it was like close to 100,000. That's nuts.
The even funnier thing, so I post a whole bunch of videos the last week on Instagram, 2 really good moto videos, and then I posted a DIY sort of video. So it's do-it-yourself sort of, where I'm doing all this like home reno stuff in my house, and I posted this video of me and my girlfriend putting up this thing and like using a drill and, you know, using a level and having to put up this stupid piece of wood all by ourselves. That video got, I think it's on 130,000 views on Instagram, and it's more than my badass motocross video. And I'm like, how on earth has this stupid video of chicks using power tools got more than chicks ripping dirt bikes? Like, it's so funny. But if you haven't seen it, I mean, just check out my Instagram. We've been posting lots of content. But yeah, do it yourself sort of. Amy Hood's Pinteresting for dummies. Yeah, it's up there.
All right. Well, we got to give a shout out to Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Impact, OTSFF, Optimus, Terracross, Blue Water Resort and Casino. Big shout out to Riley Herbst, Rob Fisher from E3, Joe Duncan, Andy McMillan. Give me and Amy Hood a follow at JimBeaver15, and it's at AmyHood71. Don't forget that coupon code is JB Dirtfish for 15% off at Dirtfish Rally School. And don't forget, rate, review, subscribe to Project Action, and check out that RZR Star Car video. I'm signing off. You got anything before we go, Hood?
No, guys, just keep having fun. Have some safe, fun weekends. And, yeah, we'll be back, and I'll be having a race this weekend. So keep in touch.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you guys next week.